What's up, guys? How's it going? MikeTheTech here. So today we're going to do a new tutorial project in GameSalad, and I'm also going to create this project in GameMaker Studio 2 so that we can follow along in either eventually. And basically we want to create somewhat of a Hotline Miami clone, kind of a top-down shooter, shoot-'em-up style game. With our mouse and keyboard controls. So we can use WSAD to move up, down, left, and right, and always point towards our mouse. And then when we click, we can shoot. So, you know, that style game. So again, we're going to use KennyNL graphics. So Kenny.nl. You just go to Kenny.nl, click on assets, and then we'll just search for shooter over here. And you will see the top-down shooter pack. Of course, you'll be able to replace these graphics with your own if you'd like, or just start using your own, or find other assets online that are licensed to where you can use them. But we're going to use this one just so we can all start with the same asset pack, and we'll all be able to follow along no matter what's available. So we just download that, open up the asset pack, extract it. And let's just go over here and search for that asset pack. And here it is. So we have our asset pack, and it's called Top Down Shooter. It should be in your downloads folder. And all of our graphics are in PNG. We could use Tile Sheet if we were using GameMaker Studio 2 or something of the like, or Sprite Sheet, but we're going to use PNG. And this is where we're going to be working out of because this has all of our graphics. So let's go ahead and open up our game. And when we create a new project, you're just going to call it whatever you want. So I'm going to call it Top Down Miami, just so that we remember what we're working towards. And I'm going to use 720p HD. So let's create this project. Bam, here it is. So let's create an actor. First things first is our player, as always. And we really need to get some graphics in here, right? So let's add assets. We'll go to our downloads, our top-down shooter folder, and our PNG folder, just like we looked for. Now, I'm going to go ahead and choose Survivor 1. You could choose Hitman, Man Blue, Man Brown, Man Old, Robot, Soldier, whatever you want. Maybe not Zombie, because we'll use that one later, but Woman Green, any of these you want to use, you can. I'm going to use Survivor 1. He looks pretty cool. And I'm going to choose Survivor Gun. So here's our graphic. Now if I go into our player and click on actor down here, I can go ahead and drag this Survivor Gun image here. And now that's our actor sprite. And in size, it's at 51 by 43, and we'll go ahead and leave that as is. So let's drag our player into our game. There he is. And let's hit play. Nothing happens, but we can already see that we have a player here, right? So we need to start adding movement. So let's go ahead and go to our player, and let's create a new rule over here on the right side. We'll click on new rule. And the rule that we want to create, which is over here in our behaviors, if you click here and say key, like a key press, and press enter, it'll create that condition. The condition's also here. You can drag this in if you like to, and it would do the same thing. But we're going to delete one of these, and we don't need one. So the key press that we're going to choose is W. That's because W is up, S is down, A is left, D is right. And for the do section, we're going to drag in a move behavior. So let's scroll all the way down and go to move. Drag that in. And W is up, so the direction we want to have him move is upward, so that's 90 degrees. And we can leave the speed at 300 because if we need to make it faster or slower, we'll do that iteratively. And we want to make this relative to the scene. So that way, even if our character rotates, we'll always be able to go upwards towards the top of the screen when we press W. So let's try this out and press W, and you'll see that our character is moving. Can't move back down yet, but we can move. So let's name this rule move up and minimize it, collapse it. That way we can set it aside. You can also Control C and Control V to copy and paste, but it doesn't always work right. So we're just going to do it step by step. So let's add a new rule, and that rule you're going to add in a key, or have a condition for a key press, and choose S for downwards, and then you're going to drag a move behavior into the do section. And for downwards, we're going to use, if we drag this little rotation wheel down here, it's around 280, so we'll use 270, sorry, so 270. And that's downwards. So now when we hit play, we can move up and we can move down. And you can probably guess what we're going to do with left and right. The exact same thing. We create a rule. We check for a key press. We're going to check for the A key press. In the do section, we're going to add a move behavior. And we're going to move to the left, which is 180 degrees relative to the scene. And this one needs to be relative to the scene as well. Let's not forget that. Let's make sure all of these are relative to the scene. Good. And this is move left. And our final is move right, which is rule. Check for condition key press, check for D, and in the do section we add a move behavior, and we can use 0 or 360 for the right direction, and it's set at 0, so we can just leave that as is, and we'll set it relative to the scene as well. And when we, well, let's actually rename this now. We'll rename this rule move right. Now, if you're familiar with any of my other game projects, many of them start like this, so you're probably familiar with this process, but it's just, you know, how we get started. So we'll press play, and we can move up, down, left, and right, and everything works properly. It doesn't face the mouse yet, but we'll get to that shortly. All right, so thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day. Peace.